Hello everybody, this is Llodg, and I am finally talking about Final Fantasy VII Rebirth's demo. I have been waiting for a long time to finally play this demo, and I am so glad it's here. FF7 Remake was my game of the year in 2020, and I just love FF7 and all of its spin-offs. I mean, I've already made so many different videos about this game alone, is it surprising? Also, I'll put this here before anyone comes at me for potentially spoiling stuff. If you haven't played the original FF7, Remake, or even Crisis Core, I will be talking about some of that stuff in this video, so if you don't want to get spoiled, then go play those games. I think they're all great. So with that, let's get into the demo. The demo actually has a recap of the story from Remake, so if you didn't play that game and wanted to jump in here, they have a short montage of cutscenes spliced together and all narrated by Red 13. And now for the actual Rebirth demo, Fall of a Hero in Nibelheim. You are able to choose the difficulty. I chose normal, and the combat style I chose active. Then we get a cutscene of the final moments in Remake from different camera angles and points of view, which I think is really cool. They are also using my favorite track of Remake, that being One Winged Angel Rebirth, so this demo is already starting off strong for me. After that little montage, we go into a flashback with Cloud telling the rest of the party about him and Sephiroth's mission at Nibelheim. This was actually a segment from the original FF7, though obviously fleshed out a bit more, since Rebirth is only like a third of the original 97 game. This portion of the game is mostly presented as a regular gameplay section, however there are a few moments where Cloud and the rest of the party either narrate or react to Cloud's narration and actions.
I'm good.
Huh, he sounds familiar. And before they can make it to Nibelheim, there are a couple of monsters in the way, and despite being a newly appointed first member, you know, the best of the best in the soldier program, Cloud instantly gets hit down. So to take care of these monsters, we actually get to play as Sephiroth, which is something that I've been waiting years to do, and he already killed all the enemies. Yep, Sephiroth is in a league of his own. The next morning, Cloud and Sephiroth finally make it to Nibelheim, and we actually get to explore Cloud's hometown. You can also decide what Cloud tells the party what he does, like whether or not he goes to see his mom, who's named Claudia, and looks a surprising amount like her son, which I guess makes sense. Though it seems like certain parts of Cloud's story.
They are feeding you properly, aren't they? Oh, Cloud. But you know, Cloud. Wouldn't you agree, Cloud? You're my son. Of course, I'll always be.
You can also go up this water tower and reminisce about Tifa, and hey, you can even go into Tifa's house, even though no one's home. You can even totally not go through her things.
If that's your idea of a joke, I'm not laughing. Yeah, me neither.
Come on, Cloud. I know you're better than this.
I'm assuming throughout the game you can find music tracks that you'll be able to play on various pianos like Tifa's theme here. It's way harder to play this than I would have thought. Maybe it would have been easier on a controller like GameCube where it isn't 360-degree joysticks, but you could still get pretty close. I even got a bee on playing the theme. Finally, we even see Tifa's old teacher. As it gets late, we see Sephiroth looking out the window feeling like he has been here before, but we shouldn't put too much thought into that. The next morning we begin our trek to the reactor, but we need a guide, because it's been a couple years since Cloud has last been here, so we enlist the help of the best guide we can, Tifa. Yep, she's also here and in her cowgirl outfit. We take a picture to commemorate the time soldiers were here, and we are finally on our way. The general movement in this game feels a lot better than it did in Remake. Like, there is a sprint button that works kind of similar to the Assassin's Creed games. Weird comparison, I know. But if you use it, Cloud can climb terrain much easier, and the AC games were the only games that came to mind. Also, you can break boxes much easier than you can in Remake. Now we finally get to really experience the combat system as Cloud. As of right now, Cloud is the only party member, and the gameplay system is really similar to Remake's combat system, where you have a basic attack, and once your ATB fills up, you can use the command menu to either use an ability, magic, or item. Your abilities are based on what character you're playing as, and the magic is based on what materia you have equipped. Since this is a short demo at the start of the game, you don't have too much of a choice of what materia you have equipped, but throughout the demo you're able to find some materia to switch it up a bit. I really enjoy the combat system of this game. It feels fast and fluid, but there's also still moments where you need to slow down and plan your next move, though in this demo there isn't too much of a need to really plan what spell you need to do, but still cool whenever you hit an enemy's weakness. Staggering returns from Remake, and if you do enough damage to take down this bar under the enemy's health, they will go into a staggered state where you can do a ton of damage to them without having to worry about them hitting you back. Anyway, we keep going up the mountain and the bridge is out. Good thing Tifa is leading us, and Huh. I guess these small walkways where you have to shimmy your way through them return from Remake. Great. But finally we make it up to the start of the Shinra factory, but we still have a bit more to go before we can make it to the Shinra reactor. So you go through this factory, break in more boxes, and we can't proceed until we clean up all the Mako. With a vacuum. Yep, there is a minigame that has you push a big vacuum around like it's LEGO Star Wars The Complete Saga. I don't know why, but this really took me out of the experience, and if they're adding stuff like this to the start of the game, I have to wonder what they'll add later to lengthen the game. After taking an elevator, we make it to the top of the mountain, and have to cross this very precarious bridge. What kind of luck is that? Also, Sephiroth just decides to fall into the river. I guess he just decided to accept his fate. Everyone else then falls into the river against their will. But it looks like the rapids are no match against Sephiroth as he just stands there. Luckily, he is able to grab Tifa before she is washed away, and Cloud eventually gets his stance down and grabs one of the Shinra soldiers before he is washed away. Sadly, Sephiroth doesn't take the extra effort to grab this Shinra soldier, and he is washed away. Sephiroth does go looking for him, but sadly,
he's in Fate's hands now.
Anyway, now we have to find another way to the reactor, and hey, Sephiroth even officially joins the party, and he is playable for the rest of the battles in the demo. You can't change any of his equipment, but he is already super strong, so there's no real reason you would need to throughout the demo. Oh, also you always play as Cloud outside of battles, but in battles you can start as Sephiroth. A little confusing, but it makes sense since Cloud was the only controllable character in the original FF7 overworld. Now that we have multiple party members, you have the ability to freely swap between them, and you can even command party members to do certain actions when their ATB bar is filled. It's really nice when you have 3 party members, but even with 2 it's great. Now to start the climb up the mountain, and oh my goodness, yellow paint. Honestly, I understand why people dislike yellow paint so much, but for one, there's a lot of reason games do these kinds of things, and 2, who really cares? But it is weird here since you can only go in a few directions as you are scaling this mountain, and you paint these rocks since the bridge will usually take you where you need to go. But for real, game developers do these things for a reason, and it's not like the ones working on this game are complete amateurs or something. Then we battle some enemies, walk through some caves, have Sephiroth explain materia in this world, you know, world building. Also, we get to hear some of Sephiroth's thoughts on Hojo, who may or may not become important later. After some more painted rocks and shimmying, we have to fight another boss, and here we learn about synergy skills. These are skills that you can do with another party member for you to both attack at once, and depending on what party member you're controlling, you get a different skill. Then we make it to another elevator, but before we can do that we have to vacuum up more Mako. Yay. But this time you have to open a door to get the vacuum out. Yippee. Anyway, we get inside, and what the heck is that?
Get back.
So we have to fight this huge Materia Guardian to get past, and hey, we even get to do some team-up attacks to beat it, which is so cool. And since this is a longer battle, we are able to really build up limit breaks, which are just super strong abilities. I have to say, seeing Sephiroth fight side by side with Cloud is so cool to see, especially since we don't see it too often in the series. Then we finally make it to the reactor, and Cloud and Sephiroth go in and check out what's in there. And it turns out it's a bunch of Hojo experiments. We also notice that there's a sign with the same name as Sephiroth's mother, Genova. Then Cloud leaves the room to tie in a valve, and when we come back, Sephiroth is destroying all the incubators. And he tells us that Hojo is both experimenting on animals and people.
Created the same way? Am I the same as these monsters?
Yep, Sephiroth is now in an existential crisis and hides away in the Shinra mansion trying to figure out what he is. This goes on for 7 days until Cloud goes back to check on him.
Ah, Cloud. I've come across the most fascinating passage. The specimen found in strata dating back 2,000 years smiled with what could only be described as ethereal grace. Though the truth eluded me at first, I later determined that she was an ancient, or a steward of the planet, as they are referred to in legend. She needed a name, and so I dubbed her Genova. The Genova project was approved soon after. A bold initiative to resurrect the long-dead ancients. An initiative that resulted in my conception. Or rather, my creation. The crowning glory of Professor Gast's wondrous experiment.
He created you?
Yep, Sephiroth was made from the cells of Genova, who was an alien that crashed onto the Earth and thought to be one of the ancients. Completely crazy, Sephiroth starts to leave.
I should go. Mother is waiting.
Hey! Hey, hold on!
Cloud wakes up sometime later, and Nibelheim is burning down to the ground. In his maddened state, Sephiroth started burning the town and killing anyone in his path. After going through the burning town, Cloud makes it to his mother's house.
Run away. You have to leave. You have to live.
And now we see firsthand at what Sephiroth is doing, and all we can do is slowly crawl towards him, as the townspeople are helpless to stop him.
Wait for me. I'm coming.
Sephiroth!
Yep, that's where the demo ends, after that amazing scene, which is technically a cliffhanger, but I'm sure we all know how it goes. After the demo, they do a trailer to make you buy the game, but this trailer has some spoilers that I'll save you from. Why Square Enix wanted to show this off after a demo, I have zero idea. I mean, do these kinds of trailers make anyone want to buy the game? Why not just do a quick montage like every other demo out there? And this video has taken me so long to make that they actually updated the demo to give us another section to play. Dawn of a New Era in Junon. This allows you to experience the more open areas of Rebirth, and you even get to play as Cloud, Barret, Tifa, Aerith, and Red 13. It feels really good to go back and play as these characters, and we finally get to play as Red 13 after Remake said no, we can't play as him. I'll try to keep this section fairly short, but I enjoyed playing as the characters, my favorite probably being Tifa. You also get a lot of synergy abilities, and you can test out so many limit breaks. And also during the battles you're able to use summons. You can only use this one summon from Integrate, but it's cool to see them again, and they seem to work similar to how they did in Remake. This section of the demo has you going around on chocobos and fighting different enemies that Chadley wants you to fight. Oh, and to help him, there's also this girl, Mai. For some reason they really wanted to use the PS5 controller speakers for the audio of these characters, like it's Brawl for the Wii or something. Oh, and during these fights, Mai will talk with you constantly, it's so weird. But during these fights they want you to do specific challenges to try and complete, and if you don't get them all, you can always retry the fight to complete them. I won't be talking about the story here because it kind of throws you into the middle of the game, but there were some interesting points, like this woman who says the members of Avalanche are wanted. And hey, I know this girl. Oh, also this section ends in a boss fight that took me way too long to do. I forgot Tifa could jump up using a synergy skill. But after you beat this boss, you end up in the water with a very realistic dolphin, and the demo ends with a splash screen of Tifa and Aerith instead of Cloud and Zack. Then gives you another trailer, but luckily it doesn't spoil too much, but I'll still blur it for you all. Overall, I thought this section was pretty fun, nice to see these characters fighting alongside each other, and I'm really excited to see more of them in the full game. Also, something that I found weird was to switch your party up, you had to go to combat settings, not party. Like, I spent way too long trying to figure out how to change my party. Though something cool is that you can set 3 specific party presets, so if you want to easily change to another preset, you can. Okay, now back to talking about the overall demo. Anyway, I was already really excited about Rebirth, but this demo was so perfect in my opinion that I am even more excited for it. Seeing these scenes redone in this way was so cool, even though we have technically seen it in Crisis Core. Although going up to the reactor wasn't done in Crisis Core, so it's really cool that we finally get it here. Talking about Crisis Core, I really love how they made Cloud do squats like Zack did throughout Crisis Core. Also, I hinted at it, but I really love how they played with this seemingly random soldier having the same voice as Cloud, considering that in reality it really is Cloud. Also, when Cloud tries to save his mom, you can see that a soldier is talking and not Cloud, another hint at what is happening, but not super obvious, though I did recognize it when I first played the demo. It really does feel weird to praise this demo so much because we've seen the scene multiple times throughout different games, but I still loved it so much. And I thought they handled Sephiroth perfectly. This segment is probably my favorite part of Sephiroth's story. I mean, I fell in love with him in Crisis Core when he's mostly good, but his fall is always so cool to see. And I am so happy we get to play as him, even if it's only for this short segment. Honestly, I don't really have anything negative to say, except for the pause menu. It's a downgrade of the one used in Remake. But yeah, I love this demo so much. The gameplay was amazing, the game looks amazing, sounds amazing, just so much good stuff. Hopefully there won't be too much padding, but who knows, we still have a whole other game to play after this, so... Also, sorry this video took so long, I changed up how I record videos, and of course it didn't work as intended, and it took me forever to fix everything, so I hope it works out, but who knows. And with that, I hope you enjoyed the video, have a good day, and goodbye!